I too will be voting against the motion today because I think it's totally unnecessary, and I say that as somebody who voted leave on 23rd and since then has had a grudging respect for the way the Prime Minister has conducted herself since she took over. However, the justification which she's given for having a general election is quite frankly disingenuous. To suggest that she needs a mandate to negotiate Brexit is just ridiculous. She was given that mandate on the 24th of June by a majority of the British people, and it's up to her now to carry that out. If she then wishes to have another election at the end of the process or to have another referendum, then so be it. But to justify it now is just, as my honourable colleague says, purely opportunistic. Furthermore, she says that she needs a larger majority because her business of the House is likely to be disrupted by opposition parties or by the House of Lords. Well, she ought to look back to what happened when the Wilson government was in power between 64 and 66. He had a majority of 3. The Callaghan government in the 1970s governed for 5 years without any majority. And if she is fearful of what could happen from the House of Lords, she should do exactly what Tories have done in the past and flood the place with her own people to ensure she gets her way. So there is no justification for arguing that she needs to have a larger majority in order to get the business of the House through. And furthermore, the quite frankly arrogant view that the electorate should concentrate purely and simply on one narrow issue is treating the electorate with contempt. I can only speak for my constituents, but when they consider the issues, they're going to be asking the questions, why is every school in my constituency losing out under the new funding formula? Why is the City Council having to make horrendous cuts because the government have cut the support grant? Why are waiting times at local hospitals increasing because there are just not enough staff? Why are more and more hard-working families having... I will.
Just a minute.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I thank my honourable friend for giving way. I just wanted to point out that in his questioning about why the things were happening to the things in his constituency, I just wanted to ask if he might address questions to the Treasury bench about why my children's school, which is in his constituency, the children are now going into having 32 children in a class. And I wonder if he agrees with me that I don't remember that happening under a Labour government.
I thank my honourable colleague, and of course she's absolutely right. Under a Labour government, we had educational programmes like building schools for the future. We had Sure Start centres. Under this government, first of all, the programme was stopped, and secondly, Sure Start centres are being closed left, right and centre. But my constituents will ask other questions. Why is it that more and more hard-working families are being forced into the humiliation of having to use food banks because they just do not have enough money at the end of the week to feed and clothe their families? Why are energy consumers paying ever increasing prices? Well, the energy utility firms are ripping them off in the sacred name of competition. And why are young people, married and unmarried, unable to acquire proper housing for themselves and very often have to stay with their in-laws? Mr. Speaker, these views will be echoed throughout the country. There is no justification for this election, and I will certainly be opposing it.